What's going on, guys? Josh Betar here for From the Stands. And in today's video, I'm going to be telling you why Shavkat Rakhmonov should be facing Jack Della Maddalena at UFC 310 later this year. Now, first of all, I will say, spot the obvious, I have a huge pimple in the middle of my forehead. It's very distracting, so I do apologize for that. It hurts like hell. And yeah, it is what it is. So there you go. First of all, if you've been living under a rock the last few days, Belal Muhammad, the UFC welterweight champion, is out of his first title defense against Shavkat Rakhmonov at UFC 310. I believe he has a bone infection in his foot. I think particularly in his toe. He posted a photo to Instagram, which I will make sure gets added to this video so you can have a look. It is pretty gruesome. And I would imagine he will be out for some time, which with a bone infection, they can be pretty serious. There was a fighter here in Australia who got a bone infection in his foot as well, and he has had to learn how to walk again. Not saying that that's going to happen with Bilal, but they can be very serious if not treated properly. So I don't think we'll see Bilal back for at least 6 to 8 months. I think it'll be quite a you know a big process for him in terms of recovery, which leads to UFC 310, the main event that was, and what will become of that. Um, with that injury to Bilal, I think there should be an interim title shot now, with Bilal being out for what will be close to a year to the time, in my opinion, that he will make his return. So that leaves who should face Shavkat Rakhmonov in that fight if he is still on that card. And that's why I think it should be Jack Della Maddalena. Now, Jack was originally meant to face Shavkat at UFC 305. That was, kind of penciled in very early on in the stages, prior to Jack's injury. Obviously, he sustained quite a bad infection in his arm. I think he broke his arm during the Gilbert Burns fight, and then had a lot of complications that followed in the weeks and months that followed, and had to have many surgeries and drain fluids out of his arm and everything else. So he's been out for quite some time, and that fight was originally meant to take place. And it is a very very fun fight. Jack's been calling for Shavkat for quite some time. He said he wants the hardest fights in the division. Shavkat is definitely that, and I think people will be quick to say Jack isn't ready yet. I say why not? I mean, if you let's have a look at Jack's resume here. We'll pull it up. He's 8-0 in the UFC, including his Dana White Contender Series fight. He's got a win over Angelusa, Pete Rodriguez, Ramzat Imev, Danny Roberts, Randy Brown, Basil Hafez, which a lot of people criticized him on the split decision, but definitely a gritty win anyway, considering how good Basil ended up becoming. Kevin Holland and Gilbert Burns on an 8-fight win streak, finishing Gilbert Burns as well, back at UFC 299 in March. I think Jack has well and truly earned an opportunity for the title shot. I mean, if you look at the landscape and the division of where things sort of shake out at the moment, with Ian Gary booked against Joaquin Buckley, he's out. So Ian Gary's not getting the shot. Is Kamaru Usman getting the shot? I don't think so. He's lost 3 in a row, lost 3 straight, 2 to Leon Edwards and 1 to Hamzat Chimaev last year. So Kamaru's out. Is Colby getting the shot? No way. Colby's lost his last few fights. He's not getting a title shot. Shavkat was obviously meant to get the shot with Bilal. Bilal's out. So who else have you got? Who else have we got that could step in and face Shavkat for that fight? I think it's pretty clear that it should be Jack. I believe he's healthy, and he was calling originally to face, putting some rumors out there to face Kamaru Usman at UFC 312, which I don't think is going to happen. I don't think Kamaru is going to fly all the way to Australia just to take on Jack. It's a bit of a lose-lose for him. But there also has been a precedent set. You say maybe he hasn't earned it or he's not ready for the shot, but then the UFC will put a guy like Kai Asakura, who's facing Alexandre Pantoja. He's getting a UFC title shot in his debut. It's a guy like Steven Erceg, ranked 10. He was ranked 10 when he got his UFC flyweight title shot against Alexandre Pantoja. There have been many other instances where guys have gotten title shots and may not have been at the front of the line. Look at a guy like Khalil Roundtree. He just fought Alex Pereira, was ranked eighth. Ended up being one of the best fights in the last 6 months, 6 to 12 months. It was an amazing fight between him and Alex, and he proved that he belonged there. So there's a precedent set that works in Jack's favor, that Jack could step up and take this fight against Shavkat. I think it makes a lot of sense. Stylistically, it's a very interesting, fun matchup. You got Shavkat, a guy who's an extreme pressure heavy fighter. Very good striking, very good with his wrestling. Jack, obviously, incredible boxing, great stand up, great footwork, very elusive. Um, you know, has been taken down, but he has a good submission game as well. So it poses a very interesting and fun matchup between two guys who are young, both very, very young fighters. You know, Jack only 28. I mean, if we let's look at Shavkat's age. I mean, he won't be too far behind Jack in terms of age. Let's have a look here. He's 30. Okay, so he's 2 years older than Jack. So I mean, we got guys that are really entering the prime of their career, in what will be a very, very fun fight if it comes to fruition. Um, it also sets up a good fight. If Jack can get through Shavkat and take on Belal, that'd be an even better fight. Um, but I do think this is the fight that needs to happen next. This fight needs to happen next. There's no other clear contender for the title. There's no one else who has earned a title shot, in my opinion, uh, and is a clear breakaway apart from a guy. Maybe you could say Ian Gary. You could say Ian Gary, but he's booked up, so he's sort of out of the picture. And if we look at the standings of the rankings of the UFC welterweight division, it goes as follows. Like I was saying before, Leon Edwards, is he getting the title shot? Probably not. He just got dominated by Belal. Kamaru, probably not getting the title shot. You got Shavkat at 3. At 4, you got Jack. So 3 versus 4 makes all the sense in the world. Then at 5, you got Sean Brady. 6, you got Colby. 7, Ian Gary. So I mean, as you get down the line, it's probably not getting past 8. So 3 versus 4 for the interim UFC welterweight title, UFC 310 has to take place. That is the fight to make. It is the fight that us Aussie fans want. I think it's a fight that American fans all around the globe, I think will be interested to see this fight. And I think it's a main event worthy fight. Jack's coming to his own, 8-0 in the UFC. I mean, it feels like he just got in the UFC, but I mean, time goes so fast. He's been in the UFC over 3-4 years now. So he's well and truly earned his shot, though, I think, in it. And it's definitely a fight that the UFC could make, and I think it's a fight that the UFC should make. So let's try and get behind that fight. Jack Della versus Shavkat Rakhmonov at UFC 310 for the interim UFC welterweight title should be the fight that we as fans, we as media, get to see in December. Guys, if you like this video, please subscribe, please leave a comment what you think should be the main event for UFC 310, or who you think should face Shavkat Rakhmonov at UFC 310 if he is still on that card. But until next time, guys, thank you so much. Peace.